Hello, my friends. Happy New Year. Let's get beyond the year that we shall never speak of again and get started with this brand new year. Here are 21 games to look forward to in 2021. We'll start with number 21, and that's Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. This is a Wii U remake, which Nintendo has been doing quite a bit, bringing it to the Switch. The Wii U, as we all know, didn't have much of an install base, and they had a lot of good games on that machine. So Nintendo has been smartly bringing some of their great titles from that platform to a much superior platform in the Nintendo Switch. This is multiplayer platforming madness, which I think is going to make a lot of people squabble within their own households, but it's also going to be a lot of fun. You can get into a cat suit. That should be all I need to say about that. We all love cats, right? And then they've also added on a whole other element to the game with this Bowser's Fury, which is all a little bit mysterious, but we don't have long to wait for another game that celebrates the 35th anniversary of Mario. That comes out in early February. Can't wait to play Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Number 20 is going to be a game called Chorus, which is coming out for the Xbox Series platform, Series X and Series S. I believe it's going to be on everything. Fish Labs is the developer of this, and the reason why I'm excited about this game, it's a 3D space shooter with storytelling elements in it, lots of flashy special effects, lots of barrel rolls and winged people that you have to work with, and apparently a pretty cool, mysterious story, as they're kind of hinting at within the trailers here. I just want to get out into space and have it all be next-gen and flashy and slick and lots of cool areas to explore and lots of cool technology to utilize. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. My fingers are crossed for Chorus. It was a pretty big component of the Xbox Series X gameplay reveals last year, so hopefully this actually turns out to be a pretty phenomenal experience in 2021. Number 19 is Scarlet Nexus, and we saw this pop up a little bit with PlayStation and with Xbox last year. It looks very cool. It reminds me a little bit of Astral Chain, which was my favorite game from 2019. This is an anime-flavored action role-playing experience. It looks like there's a big emphasis on combat, but you're also working with the team, and you're dealing with all kinds of crazy supernatural-type bad guys that are cybernetically infused. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun with great special effects and lots of beautiful visuals as well. Very much looking forward to finding out what Scarlet Nexus has to offer. Number 18 is The Medium. This is a psychological horror game where you're actually playing in two realities at the same time. It's made by a company called Bloober. It looks like it's going to evoke a lot of the same vibe and a lot of the same scares that we would find in something like Silent Hill, but of course it's going to use the horsepower of the Xbox Series platforms, and it should look pretty damn fine on the Xbox Series X. It should have been a launch title with the system, or systems from Microsoft, but it didn't quite make it, so hopefully this does live up to the hype and the expectations and actually does deliver a true next-gen experience on the Xbox platforms, and I would imagine it's going to come to everything down the road as well. But The Medium is coming up fast, and it looks pretty good. It's number 18. Number 17 kind of looks like a fusion between The Medium and Scarlet Nexus. It's Ghostwire Tokyo. This is developed by Tango Gameworks, headed up by Shinji Mikami, the master of survival horror, has worked on lots of creepy games in the past. And this one does look creepy, but it also looks like you've got these cool superpowers as well, or supernatural powers. You've got these demonic creations to contend with, including a headless Japanese schoolgirl that's coming after you in the streets of Tokyo. Everything's beautiful and neon and glowy, and looks like it's going to just be a gorgeous escape, but it also looks like it's going to be really creepy. And generally, I'm a fan of whatever Shinji Mikami puts his name on, so I can't wait to play Ghostwire Tokyo. Number 16 is Hitman 3. This is IO Interactive going back into the universe that they know so well. Obviously, this is Hitman for a new generation of machines, and this was already a series with Hitman 1 and 2 that were really state-of-the-art as they were, coming out into the marketplace. Interesting ways that they have delivered these games as well. They've kind of carved them up by location and delivered episodic content as we've gone along. With Hitman 3, I think we're getting the full meal deal. We're going to be traveling all over the world, taking out all kinds of scumbags in interesting ways, and really getting into the toy box kind of mentality that the Hitman games are famous for, but with increased fidelity and beautiful visuals and stunning locations. The thing that excites me the most about Hitman 3 is that it could be a nice teaser of what IO Interactive has in store for us when they take the reins of the James Bond franchise, because that's what's coming up next from those guys. But I am really looking forward to playing Hitman 3 very soon. Coming in at number 15 is Bravely Default 2 for the Nintendo Switch. It's being published by Square Enix, and it looks stunning. It features cutesy characters, big heads, beautiful special effects and visuals, but it also has this really cool picture book kind of art style to it, and gorgeous music as well. It's made by a lot of the same folks that worked on Octopath Traveler, which is still one of my favorite Switch games, period. Definitely one of my favorite role-playing games that I played in the last 5 or 6 years or so. It's beautiful. So I'm expecting big things out of Bravely Default 2, and I know how much people loved the 3DS games that preceded this. I think it's going to make a really nice addition to the Switch library this year. Can't wait to play this one. Number 14 is Deathloop, which is being developed by Arcane Leon, the people that brought us the Dishonored games, which I adored. And Deathloop seems to be borrowing a lot of the same kinds of mechanics, a little bit of that surrealistic kind of art style as well. We're going to be able to do all kinds of really cool maneuvers and have different types of abilities as we are endangered by an onslaught of all kinds of bad guys that we have to take care of with some interesting technologies and interesting abilities. But it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to feel very powerful, but it's also got a nice sense of humor about itself. This sort of time loop that you're caught in, this sort of Groundhog Day kind of mechanic that we see, which honestly is a part of every video game, let's be honest. We are always dying and having to restart at checkpoints or starting over again, but it's sort of interwoven into the narrative here, and I think it's going to be very clever, and I can't wait to get my hands on Deathloop. Number 13 is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time Remake, which is, obviously not the most stunning video game that we're going to see in 2021. I just think that there is this nostalgic glow about this game. This is a game that really signified the best of a generation of consoles when it was released on the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. I remember Tommy and I just having our minds blown by how fun and how clever the original Prince of Persia: Sands of Time was. And it was such an iconic and important game for Ubisoft that I'm really glad that they're going back to this. And, I also know that this is a game that means a lot to the teams at Ubisoft that are doing this translation, that are doing this remake. And so I really hope that it turns out great. I did an interview with Yuri Lowenthal, who returns as the prince and one of the producers on the game, and I saw all the comments about how the graphics aren't up to speed and that it should be better. Hopefully all of that stuff has been tuned, because I can tell you at the core of this game is an incredibly addictive and enjoyable experience with lots of great mechanics and surprises and awesome puzzle solving and acrobatics. So I can't wait to go back to the world of Prince of Persia's Sands of Time. Number 12 is also from Ubisoft. This is Far Cry 6, and we don't know too much about what's going to be different about this game. There's a dependability, a reliability to the Far Cry experiences. They've been pretty cool. You got to climb a lot of towers, you got to take out a lot of hench people, and then sort of mini-bosses, and then you work your way up to the boss, and in this case, it looks like it's Moff Gideon himself from The Mandalorian, Giancarlo Esposito, who's in everything these days, but it's going to be fun to see his performance work in this game, because I know he put on the whole performance capture suit and has to inhabit this character, and he's such a phenomenal actor that it's going to be very interesting to see his work in this game. Obviously an important title for Ubisoft in 2021, and I haven't really been let down by the Far Cry games. They just haven't sort of lived up to the heights that Far Cry 3 got to, in my estimation. They've done some really cool things with 4 and New Dawn, and 5 was sweet as well, but I really hope that 6 takes us to vistas and experiences that we've never seen in this franchise before, and I hope that it's not just a showcase piece for an amazing actor like Giancarlo Esposito. I hope that it's ridiculously fun. I can't wait to play it. In at number 11 is No More Heroes 3, which had the craziest previous trailer last year, Travis Touchdown is back with his awesome lightsaber, but he's going to be dealing with a bunch of creations, alien creations that call themselves superheroes. And so Travis Touchdown's going to obviously have a whole bunch of bad guys with unbelievable powers to take care of, and he's going to be a big protector and have a, wacky sense of humor, a punk rock kind of sensibility. I love Suda51. He's the man behind the No More Heroes franchise. He's got a great sense of humor and a sense of fun about this whole business and about what he contributes to the industry. I really enjoyed the previous No More Heroes game, so I cannot wait to play No More Heroes 3, which jokingly said that it was going to be a 2020 release last year.
2020 release? Good luck.
So hopefully we do get this game in 2021. Number 10 for me is Dying Light 2, which hopefully will come out in 2021. The demo that I got at E3 2019 was stunning. It took my breath away. It is a game and a franchise now that's all about rapid movement and being chased by very, very vicious zombie creations that are as athletic and unstoppable as you are. And so you've got to parkour your way out of all kinds of carnage and danger, and it was just a really, really ferociously cool demo. Lots of open world terrain to kind of traverse and explore and try to stay alive in. Some cool environmental effects and some storytelling in this game that is going to be much, much better than the previous experience, which I think is the chief complaint that we can levy at Dying Light 1. But the gameplay in that first game still stands up. So much fun. So I can't wait to see the improvements in gameplay and in storytelling in Dying Light 2, hopefully in 2021. Number 9 is a sequel we've been waiting forever for. It's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which had a kind of underwhelming trailer, mostly because the visuals really don't stack up with kind of state-of-the-art that we're seeing out there. But this is a huge action role-playing experience, and the first game was so unbelievably ambitious. A lot of expectation, a lot of hype. You get to play as a vampire, you get to take out other vampires and other demonic creatures. And the game's got a sense of humor about itself, a self-awareness, but also lots of really deep and intricately designed role-playing mechanics that date back to the pen and paper days of this franchise. So I can't wait for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I hope that this game turns out to be one of the shocking, fantastic surprises of 2021. Number 8 is Hogwarts Legacy, which Warner Brothers has been working on for a long time. This is a huge action role-playing experience meant for the hardware muscle of the current generation of machines out there. So it's going to look really, really cool. And of course, Harry Potter has been a beloved franchise for a long time, but it's been somewhat tainted a little bit by the antics of J.K. Rowling and Johnny Depp and all of this other drama that's been surrounding and swirling around the Harry Potter brand, but at its core, it is absolute magic. I've been reading the books with my daughter and sort of diving into the mythology and the fiction and re-experiencing the films again. So I can't wait to kind of get lost in the lore. Now, the game doesn't take place in the same time as the books and the movies. It takes place, I think, 100 years previous to that. So we're going to see different types of Muggle technology around the characters, but we're going to see all kinds of incredible magical effects. And you're going to be able to create your allegiance to whatever house you desire. You get to put on the Sorting Hat. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to dive into this game, and I think it's Avalanche that is working on this, and they've made some excellent open world experiences for us in the past. So I hope that this game lives up to expectation, and it puts a nice kind of glow back on the Harry Potter name and brand again. Coming in at number 7 is Resident Evil 8 Village. This is a first-person survival horror experience. Resident Evil 7 was terrifying, and I played that in VR.
Close that door.
It felt so dirty that it was so scary because you couldn't escape. You had the... Anyways, I'm looking forward to getting completely lost in Resident Evil 8 and getting scared out of my mind. I don't know too much about this. They're being purposefully vague with the storytelling, but, clearly we're going to be doing some exploring and we're going to meet all kinds of menacing people and, nefarious creatures and we're going to have creepy crawlies on the back of our neck, and we're going to be playing it late at night with all the lights off and the sound turned up, and I'm kind of terrified already, but I'm also excited. I can't wait to see what Capcom has in store for us with this brand new addition to this beloved gaming franchise. Coming in at number 6 for me is Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. This is TT Games taking the time that they've wanted to really reinvent the Lego video game franchise. Obviously, this is a company that's made lots and lots of money and had lots of success turning all kinds of beloved franchises, movie franchises, comic book franchises, TV show franchises into Lego video game experiences, and they've done some really, really great games in the past, including lots of excellent Lego Star Wars games. But what they have been promising since they started to show this thing off, I think as far back as E3 2018, definitely E3 2019, is a complete rethink on how expansive and immersive and interactive this Lego Star Wars experience is going to be. They're promising basically everything you've seen in all of the 9 core films, but now because the game, we've been waiting for it for a while, and obviously last year was probably no help to getting this game done on time, they probably had time to kind of sneak in all kinds of Mandalorian extras and other types of goodies, maybe some more Filoni-verse type experiences into this thing. Because the Skywalker saga, I think in general, has been dimmed somewhat, and I think all eyes are on what Disney Plus has got in store for Star Wars looking ahead. But I can't wait to play this game. I can't wait to see the inventiveness of this team, which has proven itself time and time again. They've been given kind of the keys to the kingdom to reinvent. So I'm very excited to see what they've got in store for us, because I have been a fan of the Lego games in the past. Now I can't wait to be completely surprised by the ambition and the stakes of this experience.
So be it, Jedi.
In at number 5 for me is Gotham Knights. This is Warner Brothers Montreal getting to go back into the Batman universe and kill Batman. And so now what you've got is a cooperative experience where you play as part of the Bat family. You can play as Red Hood, you can play as Batgirl, you can play as Nightwing or Robin, or with your buds, and everybody's playing cooperatively, which is incredibly exciting. Looks like a lot of the mechanics that we have come to know and love from the Arkhamverse are applied here, but every character has a different feel, a different vibe, a bunch of different skills, and different weapons and abilities and vehicles. I think that this is going to be a massive experience. I think that Batman is not dead. That's not hard to predict. But I can't wait to find out how they're putting all of this narrative together, and clearly no expense was spared to kind of make this thing epic and massive and cooperative, which is incredibly exciting. So I can't wait to play Gotham Knights. I hope it's fantastic, but I also do hope that we also get a chance to play as Batman in Gotham Knights. Number 4 for me is Halo Infinite, and yes, I know there's a lot of skepticism about this game. I think it was a very good move on Microsoft's part to take all of the heat and all of the hate that they were receiving online, listen to all of the criticisms, pull the game back away from the launch of the Xbox Series X, and basically go back and tune, because I think that's what they really had to do. What they showed in that initial trailer was not overwhelming, but you could see the fundamentals, and you could see the connection to classic Halo experiences, which I think is incredibly important to the fans. But yes, they also have to wow, modern consumers and people that are looking at all the new PS5 and Xbox Series X top-of-the-line, state-of-the-art stuff. And this game has to compete and exceed. It has to really knock us on our butts. And so hopefully what this extra, conceivably a full year of tuning is going to mean is that this thing is going to come out and look absolutely gorgeous. And I think the developers have learned a lot from the way that CD Projekt Red handled the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, and they don't want to repeat a lot of those mistakes. So Halo Infinite, I hope it really is an incredible validation on the length of time that Microsoft has given 343 to keep embellishing. I hope it's awesome, and that's why it's number 4 on my list. Number 3 is something that I bet good money on because Insomniac has just been knocking everything out of the park recently. It's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This is clearly a showcase experience for the PlayStation 5 and its super fast SSD. We're bouncing from realm to realm through these portals, showing off how quickly the developers are able to load in all kinds of assets and kind of change up the world on the fly for us, crafted with the same amount of pedigree and experience and talent that we've come to expect from Insomniac. So it looks like we're playing through like a Disney or Pixar type animated cartoon with stunning visual effects and great characterizations, amazing music and great voice acting, and lots of cool puzzles and new characters that are introduced. I think this is going to be one of the best games of the year, and Insomniac is proving itself to be, if not the best, absolutely one of the best acquisitions that Sony has ever made. Number 2 for me is another Sony-published game. It's Horizon 2 Forbidden West. I loved Horizon Zero Dawn. What a shocking surprise that game was. Nobody expected Guerrilla Games, the Killzone people, to come out with such a thought-provoking, beautiful, and intricate, character-rich RPG like Horizon Zero Dawn was, with lots of great mysteries to kind of solve as we traversed this great plain and got into the jungle and dealt with all of these robotic creations. Now we're going out into the west, so we're going to see beautiful beaches and gorgeous clear waters and all kinds of fish life and a whole sort of array of new robotic creatures to deal with. But also we're going to get further entrenched into this future dystopia that the Horizon games are delivering. I can't wait. I loved peeling back the layers of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I can't wait to do that some more with Horizon 2. And number 1, I think you could probably guess, and I think it's on probably many of your lists out there as the game that you're most excited for coming out in 2021. That is, if it actually does come out in 2021. I'm talking about God of War Ragnarok, which Sony Santa Monica is working on. This is the follow-up to the Cory Barlog-led masterpiece that we got a few years ago on the PlayStation 4. Now this team has got PlayStation 5 hardware to work off of and to show off their talent on. Presumably, this won't be a game that is cross-generational. It won't be a PS4 game. It's going to be a PS5 exclusive, meant to sell more of this console, and it should look absolutely stunning. And obviously, the bones of God of War were so solid. There were so many great hooks, narratively, but also in terms of game design, mechanic loops, and lots of reward as a player. That's an incredible skeleton to work off of if you're building a sequel, and I can't wait to see what this team is able to put together with God of War Ragnarok. That's why it is number 1 on my list of 21 games to look forward to in 2021, and I do cheekily want to add one more to this list. I guess this comes in at 22. Because it's already launched. It's Cyberpunk 2077, which launched at the end of the year. It was a total debacle with lots of frustrated players out there. I was one of them. I was bouncing between the PlayStation 5 and the PC and the Stadia versions. It was kind of driving me crazy that I couldn't just find the way to play this game, and I just put it away. I uninstalled it off my PS5. I said, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait for an extra month or two, and I'm going to dive back in. What I saw of the world that was built for Cyberpunk was really cool and very enticing. I just didn't want any issues. I didn't want any bugs, and I saw that no matter where people were playing this game, they were finding annoyances, and I just didn't want to enjoy it that way. I didn't want to experience it that way. So it's going to be a 2021 game for me, and I definitely will come back with a review of Cyberpunk 2077 when it's finished cooking. All right? So there you go. There's your list of 21 games to look forward to in 2021. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. And until then, play forever.